Okay, so we wanted to talk about gaslighting today.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we want to talk about it is because neither of us really knew what it meant, but we knew it was a term that's been kind of thrown around a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost kind of like jokey about gaslighting. I knew the term. I didn't really know what it meant. I see it in memes all the time. I kind of joke around with the word a little bit. But when we were doing research for our gaslighting episode, I realized it's like, oh my God, it's way more serious than I could ever imagine. And it's something that I experience every day.
Yeah.
So,
So gaslighting is used basically to invalidate and delegitimize people's beliefs or feelings in an instance. And what we truly learned is that that's the definition of psychological abuse.
yeah, so it is psychological abuse, gaslighting, and it's manipulation tactics. And in this case, when we're talking about it, we are talking about when men gaslight women, which is very frequently in either
Yeah.
relationships, in the workplace, or even friends and family can gaslight
Or
or
online.
online, whatever. It's everywhere, and it's something that women deal with every single day.
Yeah.
But to the core of it, it's abuse, and you're, like Rosa says, you're diverting an issue and making it seem like it's the other person's fault when it isn't.
Yeah. And victims of this kind of abuse tend to apologize
Yeah.
or question themselves. Like, you're like, how many times as a woman have I said, am I too sensitive? Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I am too much. Maybe I am too intense. Maybe I do need to take it down a notch. Maybe I
Exactly.
am too much.
Yeah.
And these are all things that men have said to me. You're a little too much. You're a little too sensitive. You cry a lot.
You're too crazy. You're too emotional. You make too much of a big deal out of things.
Yeah.
This happens to us every single day as women.
But what really is going on is uh, the man doesn't want to deal with what's going on with him. That's making him not want to. No, I don't know.
Isn't it insane how something can happen to you every day and it's like you almost don't have the words for it, you know? I just it makes me worried for myself.
So a guy is basically telling you that whatever you're bringing to him as an issue is your fault, and if you have feelings about it, those feelings are exaggerated and way too much, and
Yeah.
you should stop.
And you had a great way of putting it. You're starting a bonfire somewhere else to avoid the real issue at hand.
Yes.
So
That's right. So you might notice that happening in your day-to-day life. And what I've started doing is saying, this is gaslighting and that's abuse.
yeah,
End of sentence.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
then walking away, or when it comes to online, you don't even have to respond. You can say, this is abuse.
Yeah, exactly. This is psychological abuse, and you're trying to manipulate me right now, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really strong. And I think that, I mean, it's funny because we're not used to being so direct,
I
right?
know, and it's also scary because when I actually think about gaslighting, this has happened in every single one of my love relationships.
Yeah.
And it worries me. And, maybe I'm laughing and making a joke about it because I'm actually a victim and I don't really know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And so, you might not even know that you're being abused because you don't know what gaslighting is. And you might not even know that you're being abusive, that you're gaslighting people. So it's really important to take stock of your relationships and look at the kind of behaviors that you're projecting onto other people.
Absolutely. And another reason why psychological abuse is so worrisome is that it can lead to other abuse.
Yes.
And so there's two aspects here. There's one aspect of myself as the woman not wanting to bring up things that'll make my partner gaslight me because I'm afraid that it'll lead to him killing me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we are at the core of our beings as women afraid of being murdered. And then there's also the real reality of the situation is that if somebody is psychologically abusive on a daily basis with you, they have the full capacity to become physically abusive and then eventually murder you.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's why you shouldn't be in relationships like that. It's not just like, oh, it's fine. I have thick skin. I can brush it off. This will lead to further abuse.
Yeah. And so what we're hoping is that, like for me personally, I'm going to try and hold people accountable, right? So when I experience gaslighting now that I know what it is, now that I know how serious it is, this thing that I've been dealing with my whole life, I'm going to call people out, and I think that the people that are gaslighting, they need to be held accountable, and they need to be accountable to themselves as well in their relationships and take responsibility for their actions instead of subverting the issue onto the other person.
Yeah. And if they're not able to do that, they shouldn't be in your life because that means they're dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do want you to mention before we go, there's another kind of gaslighting that's very serious.
Right. So if you hear about somebody who has been raped and you question the circumstances of that rape, that's gaslighting.
Exactly. And that can be either genders doing that. And it's, again, let us remind you, the definition of gaslighting is psychological abuse. So if you are victim blaming, victim shaming, and you're not believing people that have been abused, raped, or sexually assaulted, that is a form of abuse. So you could be furthering that victim's victimization.
Absolutely. You could be adding to the problem.
Yeah, so just be very cognizant of that. You don't want to be an abuser, right?
Yeah. And I think that's a great thing is that once you know better, you can do better.
Exactly.
Yeah.